Allah is my heart's speech, your mercy is what I beseech. Keep in my heart your remembrance, and in your deen allow me to advance. Help me in my quest, permit me to pass the ultimate test. Help me in my quest, permit me to pass the ultimate test.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والعاقبة للمتقين، ولا عدوان إلا على الظالمين، والصلاة والسلام على سيد الأولين والآخرين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وبعد. Welcome to a new edition of Ask Huda. Phone numbers are as usual: area code 002 02 38 555 248 or 249, and the email address is ask@huda.tv. So far, alhamdulillah, we do not have any pending questions yet. We have a long list of emails, so we'll tackle some of them by the time inshallah I started ringing in. The first question is pertaining a female voice, particularly female preachers or scholars. The question says, is it permissible for men to listen to audio CDs of female Islamic scholars? Yes, it is permissible. And why not? There is a common myth where many people believe that a woman's voice is awra. The word awra means that should not be heard by a non-mahram, should not be seen for the body part of awra by non-mahram. And we said before, no, a woman's voice, if she speaks modestly and without softening her voice, is lawful to speak and lawful to hear her speech, no problem whatsoever. Only raising her voice, such as in calling adhan, that's why she's not allowed to call adhan, or beautifying her voice so that she would speak as singing in a melodious way, or softening her voice which will be inviting to a desire, that is prohibited. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forbade the wives of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in Surah Al-Ahzab by saying, يا نساء النبي لستن كأحد من النساء إن اتقيتن فلا تخضعن بالقول فيطمع الذي في قلبه مرض وقلن قولا معروفا. Verse number 32, chapter number 33, Al-Ahzab. O women of the Prophet, his wives. And I do not want anyone to think, well, that's a command only to the wives or the daughters or the women of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It will be so if the command is exclusively for them, such as not to marry after the demise of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But the command of hijab, the command of lowering the gaze, the command of speaking from behind a hijab, speaking modestly, is actually for the wives and the daughters of the Prophet ﷺ, and also every single Muslim woman. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said also in the same chapter, يَا أَيُّهَا النَّبِيُّ قُلْ لِأَزْوَاجِكَ وَبَنَاتِكَ وَنِسَاءِ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. So the command here is, إِنِ اتَّقَيْتُنَّ, if you keep your duty to Allah, فَلَا تَخْضَعْنَ بِالْقَوْلِ, so do not speak in a soft tone. فَيَطْمَعَ الَّذِي فِي قَلْبِهِ مَرَضٍ, lest that might invite a desire to the person who has a hypocrisy or a disease in his heart, might misunderstand you, take you wrong. وَقُلْنَ قَوْلًا مَعْرُوفًا, and speak in an honorable manner. If a woman says, Assalamu alaikum, and I answer her, no problem. If I'm exiting from the masjid and I see the sisters and I say, Assalamu alaikum, no problem. What's really funny is some people take it very harsh, say you cannot even say Salamu alaikum to the ladies. Meanwhile, the same person speaking to the same woman, joking, laughing and having fun in a picnic or in a mixed party or over the phone. What is the difference? Islam does not recognize sacredness in certain areas or places with regards to do's and do not do's. Because the Prophet ﷺ said, اتق الله حيثما كنت, fear Allah and keep your duty to Him wheresoever you are. So if there is a command or if there is a prohibition, it must be observed strictly anywhere and everywhere, since we're only doing this for the sake of Allah and being monitored by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who is fully aware of everything. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Mumtaz from United Arab Emirates. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Shaykh.
How are you, sister?
Alhamdulillah, Jazakallah for guiding us, and may Allah bless you with Jannatul Firdaus.
Ameen, and you too. Thank you so much.
Sheikh, I'm actually speaking on behalf of my sister. She's got a question about her whether she needs to observe Iddah. She's filing for divorce, and she has been living in separate countries from her husband, and they haven't physically been together for at least 2 years. And there's reason to believe that that he's involved with.
He's what?
And
He's what? I'm sorry, I missed that.
there's reason to believe that he's actually involved with somebody else in the country that he lives in, and he hasn't actually been financially supporting my sister.
You mean that he's having an external affair?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
And
that belief is
so-
based on what? Facts, evidence, or just assumption?
She did live with him for about 3 months, and upon her return, she was convinced that he was having extramarital affairs. This is while they were living just for those 3 months, and it has continued after she actually left the country. The thing is, she's filing for divorce, so she's wondering if she has to observe that it does in other cases. So this is my question.
So she's filing for a divorce in that country?
My sister is.
She's filing for a divorce, right?
Yes, that's right.
In
And she wants to know whether she has to observe that it does in other circumstances of divorce.
Idda?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Sister Mumtaz. And I would like to add one letter to it in order to be for feminine. Mumtazah. I understand it's not your fault. Perhaps your parents give you that name, but Mumtaza is an excellent name, by the way, because the word Mumtaz means excellent, but for masculine, and Mumtaza for feminine. So perhaps you can work on correcting that, inshallah azza jal. Okay, and I will answer you after the next phone call, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum, Muhammad from the KSA.
السلام عليكم شيخ.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
كيف حالك؟ How are you شيخ? Welcome.
Great, thank you so much.
Thank you for receiving my call. I have a couple of questions. One of them is, I was wondering what is the meaning of the word or the name Aisha and Alina?
Alina?
Alina, yeah. Yes.
You're talking about Lina.
Yes, Lina, Alina, these
Okay.
are, yeah. And
Yeah.
the second question is, as regards the responsibility of the children, when the parents grow old and the children are, is it the sole responsibility of the male children, I mean the boys, or boys and the girls both? And I'm not talking about the financial aspect, I'm talking about the other aspects as well, as regards the social and...
I want to hear that last question again, Muhammad.
The responsibility, the children's responsibility towards their parents, not only financial, other aspects as well, whether the responsibility is solely on the male, I mean the boys, or the boys and the girls.
Okay.
After marriage, of course, because the parents are old and the children are far away, busy in their own, job elsewhere.
Okay, Jazakallahu khairan. Thank you, Muhammad. Awal from Nigeria. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Awal, I believe we should be charging you. You, mashallah, you have a full membership now. You've been calling very oftenly. So I'm going to ask them to charge you from now on.
Thank you. Thank you, Jazakallah.
Unless if you want to pay willingly. Okay, go ahead, Awal.
The first question is regarding the Prophet's father, Abdullah, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Yeah, I would like to know what what religion does he belong to, knowing fully well that he has never met his son, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Alayhi salatu wassalam. Okay.
Yeah.
Jazakallah khair.
You understand the question?
I got it.
Right.
Thank you so much.
Secondly, my dad, who is late, he has obtained a loan from one of these our commercial banks of 5 million, and the interest accrued to 12 million. Our currency is naira. We call it, we say 12 million naira. And by the grace of Allah's rahmah, I am now opportune to pay his loan for him. Do I go on to pay the principal amount of 5 million, or do I go and pay all together with the interest? Which one is the Islamic Sharia on this issue?
Okay. Thank you, Muhammad. Awal. Jazakallah khair. Khurshid from United Arab Emirates, and I would request the viewers to hold on to their phone calls until I answer those questions, inshallah. Khurshid, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Yeah, Sheikh Salah, I was watching Al-Huda, the Al-Huda a week back, and in that program you were not there, and Sheikh Luqman came in that, and he was saying that in the witr, when we are praying witr, if you sit in the second rakah, this is haram. I want to know, in Hanafi Masla, if you see, we used to pray 3 witr together, and in second one we used to sit.
I got your
Can you
question.
tell me how he can say this, that this is haram? If you see Imam Abu Hanifa.
May Allah have mercy on him. Okay, I got your question, Khurshid. Jazakallah khair. Thank you so much. Okay, Sister Mumtaza, as I like to name you, concerning your sister's case of filing for a divorce, having a fight with her husband because he may have an external affair or whatever, I'd like to pay an advice to the entire Muslim Ummah at large. Please, a little bit of patience, please. Every day, almost, I get questions, phone calls, complaints. I want a divorce. I want a divorce. Why? He's mistreating me, or he's cheap, he's miser, he's tight, he does not respect me, he does not love me anymore, or. I want to tell you, if you manage to live the first year of marriage successfully and cross all the obstacles and the fights and survive all of that, then inshallah your marriage most likely will last. But if from the first obstacle that you stop right there and that is the end of the story, then you're not going to last. And guess what? You're not going to survive any other problem, even if you get married afterward, because 2 different personalities, 2 different attitudes, now supposedly merged in one. هُنَّ لِبَاسٌ لَكُمْ وَأَنْتُمْ لِبَاسٌ لَهُنْ. This ayah is a miracle itself. The word libas is an outfit. Your spouses are like your own outfit. Nothing can touch your skin, your epiderm, closer to you than anybody else other than your clothes. Your spouse is like that. Can you imagine your own parents, who are the main reason behind your existence, cannot see your aura, cannot see your thigh, but your husband and your wife can see your entire body without nothing on. هُنَّ لِبَاسٌ لَكُمْ وَأَنْتُمْ لِبَاسٌ لَهُنْ. So the first advice is tolerance, patience. Do not take everything personal, because once I take things personal, and my personality, in my ego, whether the husband or the wife, then you make the minor thing major. And accordingly, in order to legitimize your complaint, we have to look around and see perhaps he has some external affair, some problems here and there. No one is perfect, not even you. The only perfect one passed away more than 1400 years ago. The infallible one was Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. No more. إِنَّ النَّفْسَ لَأَمَّارَةٌ بِالسُّوءِ. When a wife finds out that her husband is looking into bad images online, there are 2 ways to do it. Scandalize that, reveal that to everybody, and eventually you will end up in a dark tunnel. File for a divorce, etc. And it will be very problematic. or perhaps you give him an advice, you pay him a gift of an audio lecture or a tape. You never know, Allah will open his heart and he will be rightly guided. Forget about him being your husband. I'm just giving you a horrible thing that a person does and his wife finds out about it. You can fix it and you can entirely break it. Similarly, when the husband comes home and he finds his wife, for whatever reason, did not cook, did not prepare, is lagging behind, she's not used to that, prepare her, assist her, give her a hand, look for counseling. Why do we right away think about divorce and the wife will take off, will leave the house, and will build up a case against him? Then everybody will talk about it. Did we sit together and we talk about it? No. Did we ever resort to counseling? As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, فَابْعَثُوا حَكَمًا مِّنْ أَهْلِهِ وَحَكَمًا مِّنْ أَهْلِهَا. Not at all. Why? Because I know that he's bad. That's it. So you already passed the judgment. So what do you want the Shaykh to say? I'm saying that not as a comment on this particular case, but right before the program. Today I had a long conversation over the phone for a similar case. Patience, please. Patience. And if the person, whether the wife or the husband, is committing a sin or a mistake or have erred, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgives. We need to give them a hand because we too are all sinners. إِنَّ النَّفْسَ لَأَمَّارَةٌ بِالسُّوءِ. And that's why Allah said, إِنَّ اللَّهَ يُحِبُّ التَّوَابِينَ. They frequently repent. That's why He loves them upon committing sins. If you think that one day you will meet a prophet who does not make any errors, who assists you in your homework at home, domestic businesses, who takes care of the kids, who is very generous and very rich and well-mannered and you're going to wait for Mr. Right forever. Perhaps, inshallah, you're going to meet him in heaven. No. We're all full of errors. We need to have some tolerance. We need to be patient and really equip ourselves with a great deal of patience. As far as an answer to your question, filing for a divorce, you know better whether you can live with him or not, whether it's a subject for reconciliation or forget about it. You can never live with him anymore. If you can never live with him for some reasons that you did not reveal to us and you know for sure, then in this case there is something called khula. Al-khula is you ask for out of marriage. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, فَلَا جُنَاحَ عَلَيْهِمَا فِيمَا افْتَدَتْ بِهِ. In this case, you just pay him back whatever he paid you as far as dowry, gold or gifts, which are still there. And you get your khula. But a woman who asks for divorce without a legit reason, the Prophet ﷺ said she will not find the fragrance of paradise. Please think about it several times and be patient. And the husbands, be very patient with your wives. That men, especially those who did not have or do not have sisters, do not realize that women every month they go through the period. The PMS, there are some hormonal changes, psychological changes, there are great pressure that is placed on them. So you have to be understanding that they are not like you during these times. They may act nervously, and that's why the Prophet ﷺ forbade divorcing one's wife during the period. Islam is the most wise religion. If we were to follow the divine commands, we'll have the best life. But when we neglect them, we go to the Shaykh, and if he says, well, I don't like, I say, okay, thank you so much for advising me. I'm going to do whatever I like. Then you will not get peace. Rather, you will get destruction. The Shaykh is not saying, supposedly, from his own mind or his own experience. He's quoting what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said in order to bring peace and tranquility to our lives. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reconcile between you and your husband and give you the happiest life in this life and in the hereafter, inshallah. Muhammad from the KSA. The name Lina, I believe you asked about that name. Lina is the name of a young date palm tree. ما قطعتم من لينة أو تركتموها قائمة على أصولها فبإذن الله. The word Lina is the date palm tree. the responsibility of taking care of one's parents, is it due upon the boys or the girls after they grow up, and the parents as well, they get old? So we're talking about the financial responsibility, the moral responsibility, serving them, hosting them, etc. on everybody. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala repeatedly mentioned in the Quran, Birr al-walidain, right next to the command of worshiping Him alone. In Surah An-Nisa, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَاعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ وَلَا تُشْرِكُوا بِهِ شَيْئًا وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا. So worship Allah alone and do not sit partners to Him in worship. And next in command, and be good and dutiful to your parents. Surah Al-Isra, وَقَضَى رَبُّكَ أَلَّا تَعْبُدُوا إِلَّا إِيَّاهُ وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا. And your God, your Lord, decreed that you should not worship but Him, and be good to your parents. And the Prophet ﷺ prayed against and asked for destruction for one who witnesses his parents alive and cannot enter heaven through serving them properly. He either upset them or did not serve them properly, did not pay them their due rights. And by the way, no matter what you do and what kind of service you offer them, you can never pay them enough. And you will figure this out as you grow old and you have children whom you spend your entire life working hard in order to make their life happy and luxurious. And now you expect them to pay you back. But when they don't, you regret. And now you will remember that you've done the same to your parents. So it is the duty of both, boys and girls. What if the girls do not have the means for the financial support? Then it is the responsibility of those who have, whether the boys or the girls. And I really advise the girls who are about to get married to set this matter clear with their husbands beforehand, especially in certain parts of the world, where when the husband takes over and he gets married, he believes that he is God and he is speaking in the name of God. So he bans her from speaking to her parents, her relatives, and all of that. Be kind, be merciful. And beforehand, that my parents are my responsibility. I'd like to visit with them. I'd like to host them whenever. I'd like to support them from my own earning if she earns or if she have any assets. هذا والله تعالى أعلم. Start taking some phone calls. السلام عليكم. أم عائشة, Nigeria. السلام عليكم.
عليكم السلام.
How are you, أم عائشة?
وعليكم السلام Sheikh. Fine, thank you, Sheikh.
Mute your TV set.
I have one question to ask.
Now before you mute your TV set. Thank
Can you
you.
hear me?
I hear you.
Can you hear me?
I hear you, but I don't want you to hear yourself. Mute your TV set, Aisha, please.
Okay, Sheikh. Okay. Please, Sheikh, I've been married for 12 years with a kid.
Why do you insist on hearing yourself, Aisha? Mute your TV, please.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Now go on. Okay, Jazakumullah khair. We'll try again, please. Saba, United Arab Emirates. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam, sir. It's a pleasure to see you back on Ask
Thank
Huda.
you so much. Jazakumullah khair.
And I have two questions. The first is regarding one of my friends who has taken a khula from her husband about 10 years ago. And 6 years ago, mashallah, she got married again to a nice, religious, pious man. And she has a daughter from her previous marriage. She who's about 14 years old now. She has retained the daughter with her. And my question is that, her husband sometimes calls up to talk to the daughter, and on pretext of that, he also speaks to my friend. So is it allowed for my friend to be speaking to him on general, yes, hello, how are you, hi, things like that? Or
did you hear my
refrain?
answer? Did you hear my answer to the very first question in tonight's program?
No, I just switched on the TV actually.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I'm sorry I lost that.
If you listen to the rerun, that answers your question as well. Can I speak to any woman properly and with modesty in a regular way? Yes. So an ex-husband is calling to ask about his daughter, her education, if she needs any. That is permissible, no problem. And I prefer that should be on the speaker phone. And so if the current husband is listening, he feels comfortable that they are talking about an official business. They are not longing for the past, trying to remember their memories or whatever. Okay? So in order to remove any doubt, remember, the Prophet ﷺ, who is the most modest, had to stop two companions and said, "Ala rislikuma," she is my wife Safiya, in order to remove any doubt or suspicion from the mind of even his own companions, because the shaitan whispers to everyone. Assalamu alaikum. Zaki from Egypt. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Shaykh.
How are you?
Yeah, good, alhamdulillah. I have 4 questions for you.
Okay.
Okay. The first one is like, I want to know about women traveling alone in a flight, for example, for a journey of 1 or 2 hours without a mahram. Okay, and the situation demands me that I had to send my wife alone without anyone. So is it permissible or not?
Traveling alone for a woman without a male mahram is prohibited according to the Quran, the Sunnah, and the general consensus of the scholars. There are some scholars who say it is permissible in a safe company. We stick to the text, especially it is very clear and obvious. It has been mentioned in many different ways. The Prophet ﷺ has said, it is not permissible for a woman who believes in Allah and in the last day to travel without a male mahram. How long, how far is the travel? The travel distance which allows you to shorten the prayer. Of course, that is the original case. The original case may be skipped in cases of necessity and only due to the necessity, and while the necessity exists. She has to travel for a medication, to travel from a place she was visiting where her husband, for instance, got sick, died, God forbid, and she has to go home and she does not have a male mahram. Permissible. All of that is permissible because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, فَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ مَا اسْتَطَعْتُمْ. You should keep your duty to Allah, follow His commands, abstain from His prohibitions as much as you can within your capacity. The capacity is determined as follows. If she has a male mahram and she has an access to the person to travel with her, then she's not supposed to travel alone by herself. Thank you, Zaki. Jazakallahu khairan. Okay, I guess it's due to take a short break, and inshallah Azza Jal will be back in a couple of minutes, so stay tuned.
In your standpoint of view, are there specific or certain criteria to choose your spouse or a partner, to marry or not to marry? Maybe that's the question. Do we revise the quality of performance of our treatment between the family members as fathers or mothers? As they say usually, it's not what you say, it's how would you say it. Wouldn't you like to be a good storyteller for your kids? Neurobiologically speaking, child abuse and emotional trauma causes scars in the brain of the child, and this might be not easily healing. What's the exact job description of a father? Is it clothing, payments, and feeding, or other important things? Well, I think the job description of a father is merely giving him love and care, self-confidence, giving him sense of security, and checking for the points of strength to stress on them. What about potty training and its planning? Oh yeah, actually, it's a state, it's a condition. Fatherhood is not a body or a person, it's a state. Are you a good or skillful designer for the policy and the long-term plans of the life of your kids? Join us every Wednesday for family issues.
Please, brothers and sisters, in particular brothers, husbands, divorce is the last resort.
Even when I was given the topic, the art of divorce, I was thinking, why are we talking about a divorce?
As they say in management, do you take serious decisions when you are angry? No one is taking a very serious decision in his life, maybe in his business, while you are angry.
a divorce happening every 6 minutes.
We are not talking about enjoying the divorce, but we are talking about certain steps to be followed in order to avoid divorce or minimize the possibility of divorce or minimize the consequences of divorce. Any divorce taking place have many ill effects. So we would like to minimize those ill effects.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We've got a few questions here pending from the first segment. The first one is from Awal from Nigeria, asking about Prophet Muhammad's father. May Allah's peace and blessing be upon Prophet Muhammad and the rest of his prophets and messengers. We know as Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah that before the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam's prophethood, there was a religion which is Al-Hanifiyyat As-Samha, the religion of Prophet Abraham, peace be upon him, which was indigenous in the peninsula supposedly, because it was Ibrahim a.s. and Ismail who raised the foundations of the Kaaba and built it. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala showed them the manasik, the rites of Hajj, and then they came Amr ibn Luhay and who fetched out the idols from the time of Prophet Nuh and brought them to Mecca and set them around the Kaaba, and this is where people started worshipping idols and so on. So any person who was worshipping idols at that time is blameworthy. We cannot say that, well, there was no prophet. No, there was. And the proof is Waraqa ibn Nawfal, the one who prophesied that Prophet Muhammad ﷺ will be appointed as a prophet because of his narration when Khadija went to him. He was her cousin, and she told him about what happened to the Prophet in the cave of Hira and so on. He said he is the last prophet. He used to read the book. He was following Christianity. So those who were following the religion of Prophet Jesus, or Moses, or Ibrahim a.s., which was the predominant religion supposedly in the area, were safe until the arrival of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ that abrogates any religion and any sharia before him ﷺ. So those who were worshipping idols, whether the Prophet's uncle, the Prophet's parents, the Prophet's relatives, the same. And the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said to Fatima, his daughter, Ya Fatima, O Fatima, the daughter of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, work hard for what will benefit you, since I cannot avail you an aught. I cannot avail you an aught. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam could not do much for his uncle, Abu Talib, Ali's father. So we say Ali, may Allah be pleased with him. Or say the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam. And Abu Talib was not an ordinary person. Abu Talib served Islam perhaps more than any of the companions of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam. But he died in a state of non-Islam. And accordingly, he will not enter paradise. If it is up to wishes, up to whims, up to desires, would have said, yes, they're all in heaven. But this is not the case, especially when we have some sound ahadith pertaining to the parents of the Prophet ﷺ, such as a hadith in Imam Muslim, when the Prophet ﷺ was banned from asking for forgiveness for his mother who died in following the religion of paganism, where the Meccans used to follow that. I really cannot do much when I have a sound and profound hadith, an authentic hadith that explains to me this is what the Prophet ﷺ said with regards to his parents. And Nabi ﷺ said, "Man abta'a bihi amaluh, lam yusra' bihi nasabuh." And that's another very important indication. Man abta'a bihi amaluh, lam yusra' bihi nasabuh. Some people rely on their relationship to the Prophet ﷺ. He says, I'm a descendant of his family. My ancestor is this and that, and from Quraysh, and from... Fine. All of that is a great honor. But what about you yourself? What have you done for yourself? What did you introduce for the hereafter as an asset of good deeds? Not much, then you don't deserve it. You will be rather asked about the honor which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala honored you with, and you did not take care of it. Okay, Jazakumullah khairan. Assalamu alaikum. Abu Amin from the KSA.
السلام عليكم شيخ.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله
كيف
وبركاته.
الحال شيخ؟
الحمد لله وشكر لله.
Sheikh, actually, I'm having 3 to 4 questions, if you don't mind writing them down for me.
Go ahead.
The first one is, I would like to ask about killing those insects of which we have no information whether they are going to harm us or not. So is it permissible to kill them or not?
At home or where?
Yeah, at home, like black ants and some spiders, home insects.
So, yeah, Abu Amina, do you think we should wait until they bite us, then we determine, yeah, they deserve to be killed? Huh?
Again?
Do you think that we should wait for the ants or the mosquitoes to bite us, then we decide that we should kill them because they have harmed us? At home?
No, because there are some black ants which they don't hurt, and spiders, I have no information whether they will hurt or not.
Yeah.
So those insects of which we have no information whether they are going to hurt or not, can we kill them?
Okay.
This is my first question. And second is, actually I'm traveling every week or alternative week to visit my and my wife's parents who are away 300 kilometers from my hometown. So in this case, am I allowed to pray, shorten my prayer while I have already arrived at their home? Will it be considered as my home, or still I am considered as traveler? So,
okay.
And is it permissible for me to shorten the prayer at home, and can I pray at home or not?
Okay.
And another thing, while I'm traveling, if the time is for Maghrib, let's say, and I can catch Isha at my hometown, so before I reach my home, can I combine them before reaching my home while I'm traveling?
Okay.
And another question
He asked for 3 questions, Abu Amina.
Yeah, this is the
You
last
said
one,
3.
if you don't mind.
Okay.
Yeah, if you don't mind, this will be the last one. While we are praying at our office, some people, they walked in while the sheikh is in ruku. They walk in with making some noises so that sheikh can wait in the ruku. And sheikh does, some of them do wait by hearing their noises. So is this permissible or not?
Okay. Jazakallah khair. Okay. Mahmoud from Egypt. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Go on.
How are you doing, Dr. Muhammad Salah?
Great. Alhamdulillah. Thank you for asking.
I have a question, please, if you don't mind.
Okay. Listening.
Yeah, it's about what is the difference between fard and wajib?
Okay. Second.
Yeah, that's the only question.
Okay. Jazakallah khairan. Okay, I go back to answer. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Okay, I guess we have, Abu Amina. I'll go to Abu Amina's questions until I get back to track. He has 4 questions. Killing insects at home, domestic insects, which he does not know whether they're harmful or not. Spraying insecticides at home in order to keep your house clean and maintain the hygiene of the house is definitely permissible. Insects do carry, not necessarily by biting, carry diseases when they crawl on the food, on the drink, and if you drop some sugar, you will find an army of ants. So trying to maintain your house and keep it clean from insects and spraying or spreading insecticide is permissible. What's not permissible is killing them in a horrible way, such as burning. And there is a hadith in this regard. The Prophet ﷺ said, "It is not for any person to burn or punish with fire except the one who created it." So using fire or caustic liquids to kill, that is not permissible. Also, if they are not at home and there is a colony of ants or whatever, which are not fire ants, which are not harmful, leave them alone, because it's a nation like us, and it's an amazing nation. Also, the honeybees. I used to have some hives in the States, and when I was trained, I found out an amazing thing. that basically they are not aggressive, they do not attack. Only when you have the fear that they will attack you and you start reacting, they too react. Otherwise, for a baby or a child who does not know that these honeybees sting or harm, so he does not have that feeling inside of him or her, he feels very safe and they do not attack that child. And similarly, a person who does not intend to attack, nor is he reacting in a defensive fashion. So if they are not harmful and outside, fine, but keeping your house clean from insects via spreading insecticide and getting rid of them with other means other than burning is permissible. Traveling 100 kilometers to visit his parents, would that allow him to shorten the prayer? Yes, 100%, as long as you're staying for less than 4 days or 4 days and less. And in this condition, you mentioned a very important thing, which said that, would that allow me to pray at home? Many people think if you're traveling, that means you're exempt from praying at the masjid. You still have the privilege of praying in jama'ah, which is 27 times greater than praying by yourself. So if you are in the street and there is a jama'ah, or nearby a masjid and there is a jama'ah, you must join the jama'ah. But the imam will be praying on full, so what? You follow the imam and you pray as the imam does pray. And you forget about your qasr. Your qasr will benefit you here where you don't have to pray sunnah, neither before nor after. Except, of course, the 2 rak'ahs before Fajr and the witr prayer. These are the 2 nawafil which the Prophet ﷺ used to pray even while traveling. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Mahbub, United Arab Emirates. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam, brother. Brother, I have 2 small, very short questions. One is if I have a niyyah for tahajjud and I leave my bed, and when I wake up, it's already Fajr Azan. So how I handle in this kind of situation?
Okay.
And the second question is, I want to go for Umrah, inshallah. And when I'm there, can I do, after my Umrah, can I get on to Ihram again and perform Umrah on behalf of someone, like for my wife or for my mother and like for my parents?
Okay, wa jazak. Abu Jawad from Jordan. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum assalam, Dr. Sani. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, thank you for asking.
Dr. Sani, I have 2 questions.
Please go ahead.
One question is that is zakah applicable on immovable property which is not in use, neither on rent?
Stationary properties like
could be
lands.
Plot, for example, plot or a shop, just not used but just plot. Now, question number 2, can we give zakat to Sayyid people like that they belong to the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu family?
Okay, Jazakallah khair. Any more questions? Abu Jawad, Jazakallah khairan. Thank you so much. Okay, Abu Amina again had a third question, which is, if he is traveling, he is going home now. He's in a journey and he's going home. So he prays Maghrib on the way. Is he allowed to pray Isha Jama, combine Isha with Maghrib? And in this case, he will pray Isha Qasr, of course, 2 rak'ahs. Even though he knows that he might reach home before midnight, yes, it is permissible. Because you are still on a journey and you never know whether you will make it on time or not. So that is permissible. And when you reach home, you do not owe the Isha prayer again. You don't have to make it up again because you already prayed it since you were traveling. One more thing as an expansion to answer this question, which is, what if the adhan of Isha has been called or its time has entered when I was in my town and I reached before midnight, I had not prayed Isha yet? Do I pray 2 rak'ahs only qasr since I'm making up a prayer which I had or I owed when I was traveling, or I pray it on full? You've arrived to your destination or to your hometown where your wife and kids are living with you. In this case, you must pray it on full. Even though its time has entered upon you when you were traveling. Since you did not pray while traveling, When you come back, you pray it full. When somebody is confused about, I'm going to my parents' house, shall I shorten my prayer or not? Am I having this concession or not? We say, you shorten your prayer to any city that you travel in, the travel distance, where you don't have your own house and wife living in. So if somebody is having more than one wife, and they're far away from each other, not to make them fight, he put everyone in a distance from the other. And now he travels, even if he travels every day, the travel distance. But he has a wife here and a wife there. His wife and kids, that's his house. So he is not eligible to shorten the prayer. The catch or the effective cause of shortening the prayer is traveling. And I'm considered to be traveling if I don't have a house and a family in the city. They pray at the office. And while praying, the imam is about to make ruku' or is in ruku'. Some people come late, they make noise. Sometimes they speak to the imam to slow down so that they can catch the prayer. I wouldn't do that. The Prophet ﷺ said, إِذَا أَتَيْتُمُ الصَّلَاةَ فَأْتُوهَا بِسَكِينَةٍ. An event like that has happened, and the hadith is narrated by Imam Bukhari. سَمِعَ جَلَبَةَ رِجَالٍ. The Prophet heard the noise of some men while he was praying. He was in the state of ruku'. So after he finished, he said, what was that noise? And we said, Ya Rasulullah, we wanted to catch the prayer, to catch the rak'ah. Because if you join the imam in ruku' and he managed to say, Subhana Rabbiyal Azim once, that counts as rak'ah. Even though he did not recite Al-Fatiha, but it counts as rak'ah. So he said, no, don't you do that anymore. Whenever you come to the prayer, you should walk with tranquility. فَلَا تَأْتُوهَا وَأَنْتُمْ تَسْعُونَ. Do not rush. Come with tranquility. Because when somebody does that, you could hear him for the next 2 rak'ahs trying to gasp. Because he was rushing. He was running. And that ruins his prayer and the prayer of those who are next to him, to the right and to the left. Walk with tranquility. فَمَا أَدْرَكْتُمْ فَصَلُّوا وَمَا فَاتَكُمْ فَأَتِمُّوا. Whatever you catch with the imam, in ruku', in sujood, in any position, join in. Some people, when they enter and they miss the rak'ah, so they were rushing. And the imam have risen and said, Allahu Sami Allahu liman hamidah. Guess what? They won't go to sujood with the imam. They keep standing. Say, since I wasted this rak'ah or I missed this rak'ah anyway, I don't have to make ruku' and sujood. I don't have to make the 2 sajdas. Wrong. فَمَا أَدْرَكْتُمْ فَصَلُّوا. You enter while the imam is in sujood, join him in sujood. In tashahud, join him in tashahud. And he said, وَمَا فَاتَكُمْ فَأَتِمُّوا. Then whatever you missed, make it up or complete with 2 different narrations. I guess we'll discuss this earlier. It's just that we ran out of time. And unfortunately, there are a couple of questions I could not read my own handwriting. So inshallah, I'll begin next episode by tackling them and answering them. And this is all the time we got for you today. And until next time, I leave you in the care of Allah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Allah is my heart's speech. Your mercy is what I beseech. Keep in my heart your remembrance, and in your deen allow me to advance. Help me in my quest. Permit me to pass the ultimate test. Help me in my quest. Permit me to pass the ultimate test. Help me in my quest.